Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where it's finally time. It is time to bring my Zenvo TSR-S home to the Shmuseum. We have a journey of epic proportions ahead of us. The next 3 days, all into one video, 1,500 miles from here in England to Denmark, joining Turbo Transport with the Ram and the liveried up trailer. We're going to be heading out of here to go down to the Eurotunnel across to France. Then we'll be driving through Belgium, Germany, a ferry to Denmark, and onwards to Præstø, Zenvo's HQ, where of course we saw the car going through the build process on the road to Zenvo, but this time around, we're going to be bringing it back here. It's been to England for the Goodwood Festival of Speed, where we unveiled it. It's been to Topaz Detailing for paint protection film. It's also been on the Supercar Owners Circle Hypercar tour in Croatia. That was the most epic of journeys, but it's never been here. It's never been home to my garage. And needless to say, I'm really quite excited to get it here, to join all of the other cars. So let's get cracking. Let's get the truck loaded up. Let's get ready to hit the road. 1,500 miles for you, all in one video. Let's go. Let's bring the Zenvo TSR-S home to the Shmuseum. As you can see, we don't quite have a full house at the moment. The Senna and GT8 are both at service. The Emira is at Topaz for PPF. We've also got the F1 show car being reassembled at TDF, plus the GT Black Series is off in the USA. But other than the GT Black Series, very soon we should have a full house. When all of those have returned, when the Zenvo is here, it is going to be very, very exciting. But the Zenvo is by far the craziest car I have ever owned. The most powerful, the most expensive, the most exclusive, the most just bonkers in every possible way. But it's odd that it's never been here, and that's been quite a confusing one. But after Supercar Owners Circle, it went back to the factory for an extra shakedown and oil change service after doing the running in mileage effectively, to have a detune from quite how many flames it might have been producing. Speaking of which, I need to grab the spare number plate to take with me. But after that, I then went to the US, and I've been away for a while, which is why I haven't found the time to spare a couple of days to go all the way to Denmark. But why we're doing it now, joining Mr. Turbo Transport with this beastly trailer, which has transported quite a few of my cars over the years. In fact, quite a few different collection days, the SLS Black Series, all the way actually. We took this behind my G-Wagon at the time, down to Munich in Germany to collect that, GTR Pro, plenty of others. I think the Senna's been in there, the Ford GT's been in there, the STO's been in there, everything's been in there. So we're going to be hopping on board the Ram for this journey ahead of us. I need to grab a few more things, get all of our bags absolutely ready, get the journey underway, because it's probably going to be 3 days of very miserable weather. Yeah, probably lots of traffic as well. But anyway, let's get it started, because I can't wait to get to the other end. Mr. Turbo.
Morning, Tim.
Are you ready?
Yeah, of course.
Ready to rock and roll? Long journey ahead of us.
Let's go.
Kind of a long journey, normal journey for you, really.
It's doable. It's doable.
Let's get this started. Let's get your beastly American truck started. Nothing like a... There we go, nothing like a good V8 for the road.
Well, of course.
Perfect car for the occasion. A bit different from the last time we did a long drive together.
I think that was in your G-Wagon.
Yeah, in the G63, but I'm looking forward to it. So I guess I better get the shutter open, go grab Brad. This wasn't liveried up last time.
No.
That's looking cool. Pull this back out, safely does it, next to the mezzanine.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll get this started. I like the view in your camera.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. Seeing all the cars on the lifts behind safely does it. Right, let's go. Left-hand drive as well, I should point out, which obviously helps for miles across the continent, as we're going to be heading through multiple different countries. This was a bit of a test, actually, with the mezzanine and office build, pulling the trailer out. Wrap and design is very, very cool. Mr. Turbo Transport. Right, let me go and lock everything up. Say farewell to the cars we are leaving here for the moment. Lusso, I think it's time this gets a clean up, because it's utterly filthy. Continued with the daily driving duties. But I think when I get back and the Emira has returned from PPF, that will go back to daily driving. But yeah, see all of the Shmeemobiles shortly when they're biggest member of the family arrives. The journey's off to a good start when you're on the M25 and there's a Portofino. Looking lovely, very smart. Well, jump ahead. We are arriving at the Channel Tunnel exit of the M20, which has all actually gone quite uneventfully. Although I've been cracking on with some work, getting the phone in action, lots of calls and stuff. We'll have a full update when we pull up here and know exactly which train we're going to be taking. Well, we're heading towards the train. Gone straight through customs and all of that. Large vehicles, of course, considering gigantic trailer behind us. You book various different sizes depending on what trailer exactly you've got with you, but it's not too busy today, which is lovely. We can go straight through and go get on the first one ready to go. We're off to go find the train, but I should probably also mention that Brad's here.
I am back here. I've been quiet for the rest of the journey so far.
Lurking with the trailer giving chase behind.
Yeah, there's always someone like tailgating us, except it's not a car, it's just a big black and red.
As we went through, they're kind of like, what's in the trailer? And we're kind of nothing at the moment.
Yeah.
But there will be later on.
Just wait until we return home.
Yes, so for now, all sorts of construction and stuff. This way towards the train, which is effectively 35 minutes or so under the English Channel until we come out in France. This is the process to enter. Widest possible angle you can get.
8 metre long trailer.
But you've done this a few times, Tony.
No, I've done it a few times. And
Just a few.
and with your G-Wagon as well.
But this must have done like 30, 40, 50, I don't know how many European trips.
Yes.
Something like that.
Do you know, that's the first time I've seen or been in the truck with Tony doing that, and I've seen it on previous videos, but fair play, because that's not easy getting this on here.
No, because it's crazy long when you think about it. The pickup, plus the gap, obviously, with the hooking mechanism,
Yep.
and then the trailer that's chasing right behind you.
It's kind of weird watching it come through actually from here.
It's massive. A little bit scary, but we're heading all the way that way. Fortunately, we're up towards the front of this train, so when we arrive at the other side, it'll be a very quick exit, and onwards on the French autoroutes. Oh yeah, sounds good. Oh, banging tunes, off we go. That happened really quickly. I feel like we've just kind of arrived, woken up, having a snooze, and out we go to France. Do you have to like do a reverse swing, or just go straight for a while?
Straight for a while, and then do the same thing again.
It feels like it's easier to get off than going on.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to coming off than it is going on, but all part of the journey.
So what does the nav say? 7 hours, 47 minutes to the hotel tonight?
Yep.
Long old slog. And it takes even longer because we drive even slower. Officially the entry to France. We'll see a few different country signs. Let's go. Overtaken by a Dutch Phantom. Cool. That's a good way to get across Europe. I often joke that arriving in Belgium, or driving in Belgium, will be one of either traffic or rain. Well, we seem to have some rain. Actually not technically at the moment, so let's hope there's no traffic. But here we go. Third country of the day, into Belgium. Well, the weather is lovely. We're just going to enjoy it as much as we can, but I know people are going to wonder, why are we bringing a trailer rather than flying to Præstø and then driving the car home? Well, this is kind of why. It's been like this for the last couple of weeks everywhere. You don't drive a car of this value on an 800-mile journey without really planning what you're doing. So the long story short is I decided to bring the trailer, obviously with Tony, given the journeys we've done in the past. So while he's kind of filling it up over there, we'll go grab some snacks. And yeah, just, I don't know, we kind of knew it would be like this. So rock and roll, straight there, straight back. That's what this is about. This has not got any better. This is exactly why I am not driving hundreds of miles across Europe in a Zenvo right now. This is atrocious weather. Horrible. Well, jump ahead. We're now in the Netherlands. Didn't manage to spot the normal sign, but we are now in our fourth country with new speed limits and everything. It's not raining and traffic looks to have lightened. And now we arrive at Germany. And technically, this is, of course, the Autobahn, which is de-restricted. So, foot flat, Tony? Sounds good. Not this time, but yes, we're now on the Autobahn somewhere heading into the night in Germany. We just had this cop come flying by and we were like, hey, we're on the Autobahn. That's how it goes. Cop was going at least 200 kilometers an hour, and then he's lit someone up, so who knows what for. Anyway, somebody just got pulled over. It is what it is. Well, we had a dinner stop, I've moved to the back, and this weather.
This is like horrendous.
It's dark, ridiculous, and just, yeah, not much fun. Thanks for driving, Tony.
No problem.
Back at the wheel, and yeah, my goodness. Okay, that's why we're not driving a Zenvo across Europe right now. Fast forward, it's nearly midnight. We're outside of Hamburg after a very long drive, but we're gonna go and get 7 or so hours here at the hotel before we set off again in the morning for the drive to Denmark to Zenvo. A short sleep later, it's an early start, but let's do this. Firstly, cold start, because, wait for it, Wait for it. There we go, because American pickup truck. Right, so we've got about 4 hours from here to the ferry, which I've done a few times, including with the SF90, to get over to Rudby in Denmark, to then have a short drive to Præstø. It's very cold, it's not raining, let's hope it stays that way, but let's go. Final leg of the first half to go see the car again. We're cruising along, Brad's at the wheel, I'm getting some editing done in the back here. We've got the sun poking through over that away as well. A much nicer day than expected. How is it, Brad? What's it like?
It's not bad, actually. I mean, you have to remember there's the huge box behind you, but cruising along, obviously a lot slower than all the traffic, especially in the de-restricted bit. It's not too bad. I'm actually quite enjoying myself.
And it's fun to just have cars occasionally blasting past. Tony, do you trust him?
Of course. I wouldn't let anyone else drive.
Good stuff. Well, it's only, I think, about an hour from here to the ferry, which is kind of cool. Nice progress. We've arrived in Puttgarden, which is where the ferry is just over that away, that we're going to be taking in a moment over towards the other side. But given this, with a million different stickers, we're going to pop a squad sticker on. Squad, of course, the Shmee squad, you guys out there, and purple, given we're coming to get the Zenvo. So anybody who happens to be in this area at some point, if you see here, there's a squad sticker. Wonder if it'll still be around in a while anyway. It's really windy and very cold, but at least the sun is out and we're making epic quick time of this, really. So let's hop back in here and we'll be boarding the ferry very shortly and going over to Denmark. It's time to board the ferry. On we go. Same ferry I took with the SF90 not all that long ago. Short crossing from here. Before we head out, and I'm going to be driving, Zenvo have posted a really cool reel. So I obviously have to post this to my stories because this is really quite cool. And then it's going to be time to drive, I believe, about half an hour or so. All of this just opening up in front of us. And then in a moment we can get this started and drive off. Right, phone done. Let's get ready. Let's get it started. Right, what do I need to do? Tow button, tow haul. That's gear. We need to clean the window. That's this side. Because there's all sorts of junk on it. I'm excited. Slow and steady, carefully does it. With the trailer. Left-hand drive. Is this the first time I've ever towed with a left-hand drive vehicle? I think it might be. We've now been on the road for a total of 19.5 hours, but we're here. We have arrived at Zenvo. I presume my car is inside the showroom where it spent a lot of the recent time, but we are going to pull in here. Yeah, there it is. Looking awesome. They have a beast of a transporter just in front of us, but let's come round and go pull up outside here and figure out the exact plan of action to go check it out and then to get it loaded up and ready for the return voyage. It is good to be back and I'm hoping it's going to stay dry so we can go for a quick little drive while we're here in Denmark. But of course, this is Zenvo's HQ, where we had much of the Road to Zenvo series, from going through the spec process to seeing various different parts of the manufacturing, then the assembly, to ultimately at the end of August coming here to collect the car and to drive it into Copenhagen before taking it to Croatia. But sitting then right inside the showroom is the lovely Lila Perlamore Zenvo TSR-S. TSR-S number 4, my car that has been through this whole journey in the purple with the lime green, the lime grön accents. It looks so nice. It's cool to be back with the car. It's been here in the showroom. In fact, the few things that were needed to be done after Croatia were all finished by the end of September or by late September. But obviously since then, I've been in the US. I went to the Middle East for Gumball. I went back to the US. I've been in the UK over Christmas. Now it's New Year, finally out here with the car in the showroom, as well as my car, which, by the way, is currently without its rear plate. I'm going to get to that in just a second, but also here are a couple of other cars you might have seen before, the red TSR-S and the green, I think, ST1 over there, plus in the workshop, a few other exciting things on the assembly line, I should say, as well. Lots of goodies coming up. In fact, there's more I can't quite tell you about, but I think you might know they're also making the TSR GT, the version with a fixed, lower, high-speed, less downforce variant of this car. 2 of those are in build. I think the 3rd is about to commence, and that's, well, 3 of 3, all gone, which is really quite cool as well. So, let me show you this. You might remember that happened. So the car was running very rich, basically a running in map, and the plate, which UK plates are plastic, decided to bend from the heat, which is quite fun. That makes for a really cool souvenir, but obviously it's not good long term. So I have brought with me a metal plate, which will now be installed, and we need to just fit that on there into place. Remember, I went with Shmee 14 because it's Zenvo chassis 14, which is very, very fitting. Now, there have been a couple of other things slightly updated with this also. Some small positioning things on the inside just to make it exactly how I want it. A couple of other additions. USB-C port and the passenger footwell, you can't really see that, a net between the seats, small little details, and that's what I love about working with a company like Zenvo. I could suggest, hey, what about doing something like this? And they immediately can render up and create an idea, and we can decide to go for it, or whatever it might be. And there we are, ready, you know, with the next stages. So, while it's still dry and clear outside, let's get the plate on, then let's get it started, get it outside, and go for a little drive here in Denmark. A little bit of sticky tape on the back. This can line up kind of here. Luckily, the shape of the plinth makes it fairly easy to get it straight. That will sit like that. We're in the middle. We've got these like bits I can measure it off. There we go. Stuck onto the carbon fiber. For now, let's hope that's going to keep shape a little bit better than this one did. We're going to take it outside, so it is time to take a listen to the start. It's a beast, deep, grumbly, loud, angry. Look at this. It's so cool. It's crazy to me to think that this is my car and we are about to be taking it back to England, or to England, I say back, it's been to England, but to the Shmuseum for the first time. It's just mad. The colours, everything about it, for a car as brutal and as aggressive as this is, it makes all the sense in the world. Start to warm up. So cool. Come on in then, Brad. It's your first time in here.
This is a bit of an occasion, I think, is a good way to put it.
An occasion. It's absolutely crazy to think this is my car and like everything about it. So, no, that was putting the brake back on. Into gear is that way. We are in road mode to begin, but the way I've been kind of describing this is like an Aventador on even more steroids. It's so brutal and raw and hardcore.
Do you know what, it feels it already, just from moving at what, 15 kilometers an hour?
Yeah, these are baby steps, early stages. It also just feels a little bit out of place. So I've just gone from driving the Ram with a trailer to driving a Zenvo.
Oh, that is a big kick.
And this is just warming into it. It's a bonkers thing, I promise you. We'll need to get some heat into it, me just to get my head back on the ground with it all. But it is the wildest of rides, this thing. We're still in road mode. The supercharger noise is immense.
Oh, that was supercharger.
You not hear all the whistles
Yeah.
and all the like intakes and crazy sounds and just interesting things that it's doing. This is me learning all over again. I know this sounds really odd, but I obviously haven't driven this car for 3 months, and I'd only driven it on the rally, so I hadn't really ever had the opportunity to just step into it gradually.
Yeah.
I went full hog straight from the off into I'm chasing La Voiture Noire around Croatia. So this is like, I gotta learn it all. This is where you can put it into race on the gearbox and just drop down the gears. Oh yeah. It gets aggressive.
Wow.
I'm like full on short shifting just because it's so violent. This is where we need to get somewhere that isn't here, because if you drive fast here, it's trouble very quickly. Yay, the sun's popped through.
Do we unload it on the Autobahn?
Do we just go to Germany? If it's not raining, just unload it for a quick test run.
Oh, the supercharger noises are amazing.
When it kicks in and it starts like boosting forwards, it's silly. It doesn't sound it on the video. I reckon this sounds really tame because we're not getting anywhere near the top end of the engine. But when you have 1,400 or so horsepower, when you're running on E85,
Yeah.
you can still use 800 horsepower and it barely looks like anything's happening because it's not being strung out. And if I slow down, there's nothing behind me at all. Third gear, second gear. I can't do it. I can't do it. We get from very slow to speed limit really fast. Like it's done. We need autobahn, although it's also actually very cold. So let's take that into consideration as well. Now I haven't put it into max power either. We've been on restricted horsepower. So we've been on like 800 and something horsepower.
Casual.
Yeah, casual. That's limited. You've got a few different settings of how you want to use it. But my word, it just feels silly. Feels really silly.
It's quite fun seeing the wing just through the wing mirrors.
Yeah.
It's just
You've
there.
not seen it through a corner yet. You need to watch it in action. That's when it gets really like crazy. We've just pulled the car back in and I had completely forgotten what that extra push you get in third gear is like. In first and second, it's slightly restricted due to the gearbox. In third, yeah, you need warmer temps. It's literally about 2 degrees Celsius outside. Cup 2 tires, that amount of power. After a long drive, we'll save it for warmer days before we really get into this fully, but being back with the car is so cool. But not only that, other things I would like to show you. The first is this box, but the book here, wait for this in a second. So these are, of course, the 1:18 scale replicas of my car, numbered models. There are a few more available as well, directly from Zenvo in the exact spec of the car, with the signed certificates as well. But look at this, exactly perfect match to the real thing. Numbered on the cars. This is mine. You can see there, this is number 2 of 150. I naturally reserved number 1 and number 2. I'm sorry if anybody wanted those, but it had to be done. So I've kept those. Let's close that back up for the moment, because also here, I'd like to show you this. Now, Zenvo put together for their customers the assembly book of the car. So this is actually, every time I've been here, they kind of are taking pictures behind the scenes of all of the visits. Have a look at this. I'm going to go through this a little bit more probably on an upcoming video, but this is a full handover, well, a full experience through to the final car delivery day. But from my first visits, when I was taking a look around, when I started working on spec options and then seeing things being assembled, here we go, look, choosing the spec and things, all the way through to the end, and of course some lovely shots of the finished product as the car was completed. The result, really, really nice. Love those kind of details, so that is a lovely gift to receive as part of this. Oh, it's cool to be back, you know. Haven't been here obviously for a while, and it's cool to have this with the rear plate still in place and not destroyed yet. Oh yeah, good times. We've just been doing a few more photos, but it's time to load it. It's time to pop it away in the trailer. Tony has opened everything up. It's going to be time to pull this in. Could actually load it forwards or backwards because it's such a large trailer, which gives us the freedom. But with the clutch and setup of this, I'm going to put it in forwards. On this particular occasion, look at that color in the sunset. Look at the way it pings off. Oh, that's amazing. That's beautiful. It's very, very cold, but hey, sun is setting in spectacular fashion. Lift up, as you can see, on here, burbling away, ready to venture home. Ready to venture back to England and over to the Shmuseum, ready for lots of fun ahead. It's quite surreal, actually. The color is mega. When you get that light off it, look at that. Look at that. That's cool. That's really cool. Changes significantly. It's all just checking that it can go in safely. And some of you might have noticed, by the way, bit of fun, matching spec shirt, green and purple, thanks to Shirt by Hand. I figured it was appropriate to wear that today. Fits in fine. Doors are going to open nice and easily. All right, closing it up. That's a cool livery. Nice design on the turbo transport trailer. Taking another of the Shmeemobiles. It has taken many of them over time. It will be a slightly different ride. It's always interesting to see what it's like when you've had the trailer empty and then you have the trailer full. Oh, all the way up. You got it? That's nice and clean. Sweet. That's why we're not driving it, indeed. Right, let's go in and sort out a few more things before it's time to hit the road. Well, night has fallen. It is time to depart from Præstø. We're all locked and loaded. Everybody in. I'm going to hop in back here because it is freezing cold, below zero. But let's do this. Let us make our way back to the ferry. Jump ahead. We're back on the ferry. Well, on probably a different ferry, but ready for the crossing over, knowing what's in there and knowing that it's heading home. It is deja vu. We're back at the same stop just outside of Hamburg. We have our smooth operator at the wheel of the Ram to park up the trailer, which this time around has something really quite cool in it. But anyway, we're gonna have a short rest, an early start in the morning for the long old slog back towards England. Good morning. We've been up since 6 a.m. The sun is yet to rise, but we'll get the truck loaded. We will get this final journey underway to get back to the barn. After a little snooze and a fill up at a services, we're on the road. This is the weather that would be perfect for the Zenvo, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
It'd be beautiful.
Should we just pull it back in here and get it out for
Get it out and go for a drive? No, I think not.
Definitely not.
Oh well, onwards we go. Progress through Germany. Quick update time. Brad's at the wheel.
And I'm loving it.
We are now in Belgium.
Yeah, we're in Belgium now, and I must say, Brad is doing an awesome job at driving. Hopefully there's no traffic ahead or rain.
Well, fingers crossed, but we've had a big chunk of Germany. We've gone through the Netherlands. We're now in Belgium, and like you say, it's kind of dry and clear at the moment. Let's hope. We are still in Belgium, and I detect some rain drops on the windscreen.
Who jinxed it?
I think we all jinxed it. That was inevitable. This is a highly unusual scenario. This services has roadworks at the entrance and a very narrow exit for which this couldn't go through. The truck over there was actually parked just here a moment ago, and we have dodged a bullet by being able to exit out through here, because I don't know if you can see it all the way over there, but that gap is not wide enough for this trailer, so that would have been a major issue. Anyway, we are in Belgium. Get back in the truck. I think Tony's taking the wheel again for the last hour and a half or so to the Eurotunnel. We're ahead of schedule, which is very, very welcome. Jump ahead again, and we've made it to the Eurotunnel. Lovely weather.
It seems to me that me and you get all the rain, Tim, and Brad gets a bit of sunshine.
I can't
With
complain.
a tiny little bit of rain in Belgium, but it's been a good trip so far.
Well, let's hope we can catch an earlier crossing, because we are about 2.5 hours ahead of our booked time, which is kind of amazing.
We've done really well.
Yeah, it doesn't look too busy, so fingers crossed on a quick one. If you're interested, this has been my home for the journey today. Laptop out, getting lots of things done. Quite nice and calm and gentle. We've got all of our stuff in here. We've even got pillows that obviously match the F1 show car that will be back at the barn soon, and Tom has been making some amazing progress as well. And I'm excited to get that thing home. So not long now, we've actually made a super early train, and we're gonna make it back to the barn. It's boarding time. That means gigantic swing to make sure there is room for the trailer. We're looking sideways. We've basically gone off it and back on it.
Yeah.
It's very clever how you do this, Tony.
Nice and slow.
And in we go, because this thing is huge. We're following a bus, a coach down there. We'll go straight through and out the other end in England. Something like 55, 56 hours after we left England, we are back again. It's about, well, a couple of hours from here, but now it is really the final stretch. Final stretch to get the car home. Well, we have made it. The careful process to reverse the trailer containing the Zenvo here into the Shmuseum. The Amira is back from Topaz with PPF. The SLS is just tucked over there at the moment. Both the Senna and the GT8 are back from their services. The Lusso is clean and tidy and looking wonderful. We have nearly a full house, but it's going to be about unloading this in a moment, unloading it here at home for the first time. It's been a long time coming, but inside that trailer, I believe, I certainly hope at this stage, my Zenvo is about to touch down here at the Shmuseum. Let's get it out. The exciting moment of truth. Do we have a Zenvo? Yes, we do. Not the first time there's been a Zenvo here, but of course it is the first time mine has been here. Look at that. I cannot wait to have the purple of this alongside the STO, alongside the 675 LT Spider, but it's arrived. We had the blue factory car here before. It's a little bit different when it's my own. The return of SH14 MEE to the Shmeemobiles. We've had that plate on a few cars before. Gosh, it's finally time. I need to give you this. It's time.
Thank you.
Do you know how it works? Yes. I'll teach you through it. Start time. Oh, that's loud here. That is loud here. So Tony has the responsibility of unloading this for the first time here in the garage. Look at that color as it comes out into the light. The Lila Perlamore that we made for this. It's quite a significant amount lighter than the 675 as it now touches down. The exact reverse of what we did at the other end. Look at this. Look at this. That's so nice. There we go. See that happening. Lift system dropping down. Oh my gosh. Zenvo, meet the other Shmeemobiles. Senna STO 4GT. It's here. It's actually here. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. This is totally crazy. Well, the trailer heads on out, leaving us with the Zenvo center stage. What a huge effort that has been to get it home. But just look at it here. I tell you one thing, seeing the car here, and I always talk about this, when you spec a car in a color scheme like this on its own, you always think that's going to be so crazy and so out there. But when you see all of the brightly colored cars together, it starts to make so much more sense. And I always try and do things that are unique to that particular car. Notice no two cars in exactly the same color, no two cars even really in the same colorways. Everything's unique in its own style. But when it's a car as brutal as this, when you look at the design of the Zenvo TSR-S and you look at all of the shapes that you have, it's so bonkers in every way. It deserved the color scheme to match that and all of the details with the carbon and everything, as we've talked about obviously before. We've brought everything that was supplied with the car back home as well to unload and to start to get out. But this is actually here. This car is actually here at the Shmuseum for the first time. This is a major pinch moment. This is kind of unreal, really. Kind of, I don't know. I just don't know. So, what a ride we've had. What a journey we've had. About, I think, 38 hours in total on the road. A big thanks to Brad for joining. A big thanks, of course, to Tony, Turbo Transport. Could not have done it without Tony to get this back here. And of course, as always, to everyone at Zenvo, because they've just been so welcoming and so hospitable. And I've spoken so much about this throughout this journey. And it's still the start of the journey. I've been to Croatia with the car, but think about how much more there is to come. I cannot wait for what we've got in store. Now, the forecast for the next couple of days is of course horrendous because we're here in England at winter time, but I feel like that's probably not gonna stop the fun. For today though, we've brought it back. We've had a long old ride, over 1,500 miles. We've been to 6 different countries. We've taken 2 Eurotunnels and 2 ferries, but my Zenvo TSR-S is here at the Shmuseum. That doesn't make any sense. Thank you to all of you guys who have been part of this journey. I can't quite believe it, but I'm going to run away immediately and upload this video straight away, so I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to everyone again who's been part of this ride. But that's it for this time, and I'll see you for plenty more with this very soon. Cheers.